This is The Business Experience Show, where we connect those who want to know more about digital marketing, social media, and business strategy with entrepreneurs who are succeeding in today's marketplace. Follow our blog, join our online network, or connect with us at thebusinessexperienceshow.com. And now, your host, Lisa Caprelli.
Welcome back. I'm Lisa Caprelli. Also here with me is Brian Gapps. Each month, Orange Label Art and Advertising hosts an individual from an organization or business in Southern California that has overcome obstacles and seized opportunities to make their mark as a thriving brand leader in their community and industry. Rochelle Reiter, agency principal and co-owner of Orange Label Art and Advertising in Newport Beach, is here today with us and has a special guest.
Our Thriving Brand Leader Spotlight features Liz Parker, co-owner of the Tulsa Rib Company, home of Orange County's best legendary ribs and tasty barbecue. She's an entrepreneur and, along with her husband Steve, has owned and operated the Tulsa Rib Company for 32 years. They've been voted best barbecue year after year and were just named in the Orange County Register one of the 13 restaurants to watch in 2013. Orange Label Art and Advertising is fortunate to have the Tulsa Rib Company as a client, and we're excited today to share their story on what it takes to thrive in the restaurant business for 32 years. Welcome, Liz.
Yes,
Thank
congratulations.
you. Glad to be here.
Hi, Liz. So the audience can get a sense for your business. Can you explain what sets Tulsa Rib Company apart from other barbecue restaurants?
That's a very good question. Everyone seems to think they really can do barbecue well. But one of the avenues that we started going down first was to think in terms of where people would enjoy eating, hospitality, and then worked into the ribs. So when you walk into our restaurant, it truly is an extension of your home or where you are familiar. And then we made sure that the ribs were following what you feel as far as home comfort creature food. And the other things we knew is we're Southern California. We're California ribs. We're not Southern ribs. We're not Kansas City ribs. So when they realized what they wanted to do was make very local California-style ribs, which meant we had to buy the best meat, slow cook it, so literally you don't need a knife, and most important, the sauce is a little sweeter like we like in Southern California.
What would you say is most memorable about the Tulsa Rib Company brand?
It's probably the people who work with us and our customers, as well as it's always the delicious food. But one of the things that everyone says over and over again, and when you read our reviews or customers come back in, is It's the quality of the meat, it's the way we cook it, and it's how they're treated when they come in.
How has Tulsa Rib evolved over the years to meet the needs of your target customer? What lessons have you learned, Liz?
That's a really good question, because 32 years ago was a very different market. 32 years ago, most customers found us by newspaper reviews or literally when they said word of mouth or direct mail. And how it's evolved is our customers that we're looking for are similar, but it's how do we keep the ones we have and extend those, and that has changed. The market has changed extensively in those 32 years.
And as a thriving small business in Orange County, I'm sure you've had your share of challenges and obstacles. Can you explain one that has been most difficult?
Yeah, it's one that most businesses might not encompass. It's my husband opened the business with two other partners, and one had left to go back east, and one was his for, about 25 years, and he unexpectedly passed away at 50 years old. That ended up taking us in a direction as a husband and wife and as a business to maintain the integrity of the business, keep it open, as well as make sure that the family he left behind was still intact. That is something that is just enormously impactful.
As advertising opportunities have evolved, Liz, what have you had to do to stay relevant and thrive?
We had to go get help.
Yes.
My background is very much understanding market demographics, but that's where Orange Label came in. About 10 years ago when I came in, we pretty much had newspapers and TV, cable. Cable was a very inexpensive resource to
My
advertise.
times have changed.
Oh, my heavens. And we had a little tiny website. So I went out searching knowing that we needed to understand the internet, the search engines, and all this sort of stuff. So I went and interviewed 3 different groups, and Orange Label stood out hands and feet
Great.
of really being able to work for our small business.
Yes, Orange Label is great. And you are listening to the Thriving Brand Leader Spotlight, brought to you by Orange Label Art and Advertising. We are here with Liz Parker of the Tulsa Rib Company on Angels Radio AM 830 KLAA.
So it sounds like you believe in the importance of relying on the expertise of others. You do what you do well, and you find strategic partners to help you in the areas where you need it.
That is absolutely correct. We know we make fabulous ribs. If you have a party up to 10,000 people, we're your company to serve phenomenal ribs, great customer service. We also know who our customer is, but how do you find them, keep them, and keep evolving? That's where strategic partners are key.
And we understand, as of this week, Tulsa Rib has a new location. And retail location is so important. Yes. What led you to make that decision?
That's a very hard decision. We were in the same location for 32 years. The center we had been in has been evolving and changing, and we began to look elsewhere and found this standalone restaurant literally around the corner. But we also knew you had to take a Target, and you couldn't move far. So we had to stay in Orange. We had to stay within almost walking distance, and that was a very hard it was a hard situation for us to find, but this one opened up, and we also needed an expansion for our catering. Our catering has been aggressively growing, and we also, though, had a challenge to take this big building and make sure it was small, comfortable, homey, just like our small place had been.
And you're in the middle of the move right now.
Literally in the middle of the move.
And the opening of the new place should
be Friday. Should be Friday.
So
we should be open for lunch. So, yeah, but literally this morning, we closed last night. We had a ton of a crowd that wanted to say goodbye, but they were very excited to see the new. And they literally, this morning at 6:30, the movers came in and our staff, and we literally are loading up at our new location.
Well, thank you for taking the time to do our show in the middle of the move, and hopefully we got you out of it a little bit.
Liz, where can customers go to learn more about Tulsa Rib?
We have a wonderful website called www.tulsarib.com. Everything's online, from our menus to our hours to our new store location to actually we now have a small banquet room that people can use where our other place was too small, so we even have our banquet menus.
How many people does your banquet room hold?
We can hold up to 40 guests.
Oh, great.
Which is really great.
People need to plan their parties throughout the year. Start booking right now.
Yeah, there you go.
And what have your loyal customers said about your move?
It was interesting. At first, they were a little like family. When you make change, they're a little nervous. They wanted to make sure we weren't going to change. But as they saw, because we took photograph pictures, we kept them involved, we showed them the layout, they are so excited. I can't tell you.
It's going to be like a big party.
It is.
On Friday.
And they know that like our booths are moving. A lot of our mojo isn't changing. Our menu's not changing. When you walk in, you'll be greeted by the same staff you've known. For many of our staff have been there for 32 years.
That's great.
And you've mentioned some of the benefits of the new location, but I know there are more. You talked about the banquet. You have a larger room now. What are some of the other benefits of the new location? I know
as you asked me earlier how our business evolved, we started with this location originally 32 years ago because it had the space for catering. Then we had to evolve as the business evolved. For example, our to-go customers have grown dramatically. But in the old restaurant, you had to go to the front of the sort of the office area. You had to walk all the way through the dining room. Now it's front and center. We also extended our booth seating because most all of our customers will wait longer for booths. We also have a parking lot is our own, and we can take reservations. We can't take reservations when we were at our old place. So we'll be able to take reservations for larger parties.
I love a restaurant who can take reservations. I really do. I do not like waiting.
You do, but Lisa, you're a vegetarian. So, and I know that in Southern California you have vegetarians and Tulsa Rib Company. How do you?
That's really because we are, as we say, we am what we am. We am. We have wonderful ribs. It's not. We're carnivorous. However, we do know people bring vegetarians with them to the party. So one of our most famous salads is our tabbouleh, which is a strange salad to have at a rib restaurant, but it started with my husband's partner's mom's secret salad recipe, and we thought, we'll take it off the menu in a couple months, and we don't dare. That's a wonderful vegetarian option. We also now have veggie burgers, and they're the very high-end veggie burgers. We have delicious salads that you can have without meat. So there's a lot of options, but I have to say, meat's what we do. Ribs is what we do.
Right. And being vegetarian, I know that I don't like people to be deprived of their meat, and so that would be, I would actually choose your restaurant to accommodate all the meat-eating people around me.
That's great.
And really what it is the sauce, and you describe your sauce really as yummy. So that would make me definitely want to go.
And I know that after 32 years in business, and you've talked about your customer base and your loyal customers, and they really take an ownership in the restaurant, which is great. But you really have to take that into account, from changes in the recipe to the new location. And part of your branding is the overall experience at Tulsa Rib Company.
That's a really interesting discussion that we can have, which is once you brand yourself and become known as a certain kind of restaurant with a certain feel, you, in a way, lose ownership of the brand, and it goes to your customers. So every time we make any sort of change, we really have to run it up the flagpole. Who are, you have a CEO. Who are CEOs are all of our customers. We, even just moving our cornbread originally from squares to muffins, we're now moving them back to squares. It sounds silly, but it was very important when we heard our customers who said, the recipe changed. No, the presentation, but we really are the stewards of our brand now. It truly is not our brand any longer. It's all of our customers and their loyalty to us.
So tell our listeners about your birthday club, the Tulsa Rib Company.
Yeah, we started this actually with Orange Label. There's wonderful birthday clubs out there, and I brought the idea to them, but I was asking how can we turn it into something for us. We first tried, you can have lunch free on your birthday, but that didn't work. People were coming in by themselves, which isn't fun. So if you join our birthday club, the entire month of your birthday, you have 10% off of every time you come in and celebrate.
And your party does.
Yeah, the whole check is 10% off.
That's
because the idea is we want you to celebrate your family celebrations with us.
And to get that, you have to go online to tulsarib.com and just
sign up. Just sign up for the birthday club.
And in the soft economy, a lot of businesses resorted to offering steep discounts and coupons, but that can really impact your brand in the long run.
No, and it was a very, very difficult decision, but we did not want to cheapen our brand. We didn't want people to believe they could get the high-quality food for cheap. It was a very, very difficult couple years, but we had our strategic partner help us take it through.
Word of mouth has really changed shape with technology. What do you say to stay in tune with technology and social media like you have?
You really, again, you need the strategic partner who really understands and can stay up, because every 3 months it changes. Every 2 weeks it changes. So what we had to do is understand we needed a Facebook page. Really? Well, now we have almost 1,000 Facebook fans. And I wasn't sure how important that was, but those Facebook fans may only find us through Facebook. But we also have the birthday club. So we're able to then email directly them special ideas, or we have these fun promotions that only are open to birthday club members. So the idea is you really need to branch out in multiple ways, and the new media constantly changes.
What do you say when people talk to you about starting their own restaurant, which I know is very popular, Liz?
We say don't.
Yes. It's a lot of hard work, and you have to be really...
really dedicated. We have a lot of people said, Aunt Sally has a great recipe for soup, and Uncle George has a great recipe for salad, and we want to open up a restaurant. So our best advice is go work in a restaurant, in the type of restaurant that you really want to open. Make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, and whatever money you think you need, triple that.
And let's talk a little bit about Steve Parker, who's not here with us, and he's your husband. What has he done for the brand? I mean, that's just an understatement.
Well, it's him and his original partner, David George, they were, as I call it, the big thunkers. I sort of dated and then married into the industry. He put himself through college this way. He and David opened up together right out of college.
I saw him on the Orange County Register. Yeah. There was two articles recently written.
Yeah, that were about Steve, and he came up through the old way, starting in dishwashing at 13 and all the way up. So he really knows the ins and outs of this whole business. So it's
Thank you, Liz Parker, for being with us and the Tulsa Rib Company. You can go to tulsarib.com for any information. This has been the Thriving Brand Leader Spotlight, brought to you by Orange Label Art and Advertising with Rochelle Reiter.
Thank you, Liz, for joining us today. It was great to have you.
It was great to be here.
So remember, it's your birthday. It's going to be your birthday this year, which is everybody go to tulsarib.com, get on their birthday list, get the free savings.
And the new address for the Tulsa Rib Company is 220 East Catella Avenue, still in Orange, 5 minutes away from the original location.
Thank you. Yes.
We have to take a quick break. For more information about Tulsa Rib Company, presented by Orange Label Art and Advertising, you can go to thebusinessexperienceshow.com. You can also follow our radio blog and Twitter. Go to tulsarib.com. You're listening to The Business Experience Show on Angels Radio AM 830 KLAA. We'll be right back.
Angels Radio, AM 830.
With an integrated strategy, media channels work together. Print, digital, broadcast, outdoor, all building upon each other with a cohesive message that reaches your audience in different ways at different times, resulting in a stronger impact and a more efficient use of budget with maximum ROI.
Integrated advertising from Orange Label Art and Advertising, generating thriving brand leaders. Orange Label Advertising.